So the first time I came here, I rented a car from the airport. And you can rent a car from the airport if you're going to visit. Now, if you're going to rent an apartment and you're going to stay longer, which you can do in this country, they do allow you to overstay. You can overstay. So if you're going to stay longer, it makes sense to get a motorbike. Right? Now, most of these motorbikes are scooters. They're 100cc to like 250cc. That's what most of them are. Mine is 150cc. It's a scooter. It's not really a motorcycle. The bike that I have only makes 12 horsepower. So, for those who don't have motorbikes, a motorcycle or a motorbike that has 30 to 50 horsepower is pretty powerful. I know in the United States you got those, you have the enthusiasts who ride like really, really fast motorbikes, 200, 300 horsepower, but you don't really need that to go fast and get a lot of power. So if you buy a bike, I bought one that was newer. It was used. It had about 5,000 kilometers on it. So you're talking about probably, I don't know, I paid roughly $1,300 for mine. So this is my motorbike. I paid about $1,300 for it. But the thing is that the only thing you really have to do is just change the oil, which is what I'm doing today. So it's got about 14,000 kilometers on it. Right. Yeah, it's got about 14,000. But the only thing you really need to do is change the oil on it, and try not to drop it. Now, I fell a couple of times, at low speeds when I was learning. And I did change the tire on the back. I put like an all-season tire on because the roads here are kind of bad. It came with a street tire, but if you're going to do it, you just need to buy it. And then you're probably going to spend, if you stay in the same area, like let's say you went to Las Turenas, which is a popular town for tourists. If you went to Las Turenas and you bought a scooter, you can probably get mostly all around Las Turenas within a 10-kilometer radius. Let's call it 20, because there's other places to explore out there. You can go to some other places. So you're going to get about 60 kilometers for a liter. Now, a liter is about a quarter of a gallon. Okay, about. Not exactly, but about. So, if you fill up that tank for about $8, which is what it's going to cost you to fill up like a scooter, that tank's going to last you probably the whole week and possibly even longer. So if you're going to come down here and if you think you're going to visit again, if you think you're going to come back, if you think you're going to frequent this country a lot, you might want to buy a scooter. And you can use one with your U.S. license. Now, I have a backpack on. If you do drive a scooter, you buy one, whatever, you have to have your documents on you at all times because they do have traffic police here. It's called BESET, and they will stop you, and they will ask you for either your cedula, which is your basically your Dominican identification, or passport, which is what I have, and they're going to ask you for your insurance, and they're going to ask you to show that you own the bike. Now, if you have that, you don't actually have to put a plate on the bike. So if you don't live here, you can ride a motorbike and get around without a plate. But you have to have the documents if they ask you, especially if you're a tourist, because if you don't, they will take your bike for 24 hours, and then you'll have to go get it at the impound, just like they do in the United States. They just put it on the back of a police truck, and they'll take it at the impound. But if you keep your documentation on you, you won't have a problem. So, for any of you that do come down here and plan on visiting or overstaying, it's better to just get a motorbike. It's a cheap investment. I paid $1,300. You can probably find a better, faster, used one if you know a little bit about bikes for $500 to $800. And then you're basically paying $8 to $10 every 2 months. You just need to change the oil. And if you do that, you're going to be just fine. It's real popular here. It's the popular way to get around. And hey, what's up? But yeah, I appreciate that Will Smith comment. I can't rap right now because I'm telling you guys about getting bikes here in the DR. You guys can see my bike right there. I'm waiting for the oil change. So this is the popular method to get around. Not only that, what a lot of people don't know is that if you ride a motorbike here, you don't have to pay tolls. I didn't even know that. So if you plan on driving around the island in a car, you're going to have to pay to fill that car up with gas. and you got to pay to rent the car, and you have to pay the tolls. If you ride a motorbike, you don't have to pay the tolls here. But you may get a fine for not having a helmet on, and you will definitely get your bike taken away if you don't have your documents and your passport on you. If DESET stops you, there's like 6 types of police here. There's Politer, there's Policia Nacional, there's DCRIM, DESET. There's a whole bunch. There's a lot of them. Hey, check out these kids right there. Wepa! All these kids, they always I feel bad because the kids can like do wheelies on bicycles, and like a lot of them do wheelies on the motorbikes too, and I can't. But like they've all been riding bikes since they were like 3 years old. It's like part of the culture here. So like all the kids can like bust wheelies on bikes, and just like hold it for like half a mile, and like I can't even get the front end up. And I don't try either because I don't want to break my neck out here. I don't want to break my neck. A lot of kids bicycles just ride for the wheels. But that's what you got to do. So, if you guys do want to come in here with a motorbike, if you plan on staying or returning, it's the best way to go. Just plan on spending $800 to $1,200 up front. You buy the bike, and you're basically going to spend $8 to $10 every 2 months to change the oil, and then you're basically going to spend, if you live in like a city like Las Vegas, like I said, you're going to spend like $8 to $10 a month on gas. So it's the best way to get around. They do have quads if you're not comfortable riding on 2 wheels, something fine. I learned real quick. I'm not the guy that taught me. I learned in about 4 weeks. And the times that I fell, it was because I was trying to be too adventurous. I didn't fall and like extremely hurt myself, but it was mostly at low speeds. And it was off-road too. But if you guys want to come out here, that's probably the best way to go is get a bike. And save yourself the money. Now, if you want the luxury of the car, you have the money for the car, that's fine. But with traffic and with tolls, and like if you just want to get around and get into the stores, and not only that, you can basically use your bike anywhere. You see on the street right here? I'll show you guys. It's gonna be a little bit challenging to park your car here on the street. If you got a motorbike, just dump it on the curb. You know what I mean? Just park on the sidewalk. You can basically leave it wherever you want. That's the best thing about having a motorbike. You can just roll up, turn it off, and just park it wherever. You know what I mean? So like if you're really going to travel, you're going to go out to the country, you're going to go exploring. If you go to Dubai, hey, there's like they have like a bird sanctuary over there. And it's like, it's far out there, but I mean, some of the places with the terrain, like if you don't want to go all out with the Jeep, it's like, it's just better to get a motorbike. And you can basically take it anywhere. And the terrain here changes a lot too. So if you're comfortable with riding one, it's the best way to do it. It really is. And it's cheap too. It's very, very cheap. Now, I'll talk about the way people drive here, too. People say that, people drive crazy here. It's not really that people drive crazy. The reason that people run lights and don't stop at intersections is because most people here spend, 50 cents a day on gas, right? You know what I mean? Gas here is a fixed 292 pesos, which is about $5. So, a lot of people here are lower income. And so what they do is, they put, 50 cents, 30 pesos, 40 pesos of gas in the tank every day. So they're not going to sit at a stoplight and wait for 2 minutes burning up that tank of gas. You know what I mean? That's why people drive it. It's that, it's like whatever gas you put in for the day, it's like, hey, there's my gas. I'm not going to sit around idle at a stoplight. It's not like it is in America. So I don't think people drive crazy. It's just a matter of understanding where you are and how people drive. Now, in some areas, people do respect like the traffic lights and stuff like that. But out here in the country, in Campo, usually not. They just go where they got to go. People aren't trying to waste the gas. They're not trying to stop. They're trying to get going, So anyway, that's enough of this live for today. I'm just waiting to get my oil changed for the motorbike. And then I'm going to go get something to eat, which is watermelon for today. And I appreciate you guys watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you get a chance. As soon as the oil's changed, I'm heading on out of here. I appreciate everybody who took the time to watch my video today. Appreciate all the comments too. See you guys soon. All right?